Hello everyone, Pulse here, and welcome to another episode of Forging Fantasy EverQuest Next. Now in this episode we're going to pick apart the pretty exciting Dev Diary number 3, which was all about the resources in EverQuest Next landmark. So let's get right into it, shall we? Starting with the list of resources and the descriptions provided alongside the video Dev Diary. First up is the metals. Metal resources are found near rock outcroppings and mountains, as well as underground. The types of metals span all 5 tiers, from copper and tin to mithril and ethereum. The metal resources include copper, tin, iron, silver, tungsten, gold, cobalt, rubicite, mithril, and ethereum. Next, we have stone. Dirt, sand, and stone can be commonly found across all tiers, but higher tiered types of stones are biome specific. From deserts to volcanic caverns, you'll want to search for marble, amaranthine, obsidian, and alabaster. Next resource is gemstones. Some gemstones are found all across the continents, while others are biome specific, but all of them are one thing in common: they're not found on the surface of the world. Get ready to mine and dig for agate, aquamarine, sapphire, ruby, diamond, and more. Next, we have wood and plants. There are 3 common types of wood: plain, burled, and striped, that will all be available to find all across the world of Landmark. Additionally, you'll want to seek out the variety of plants from cotton and flax to earthblood and sunblossom. Some breeds of plants are rare, so you may be traveling deep into an underground forest if you want to find them all. Now finally, we have liquids. Some things are pretty much everywhere, like mud and water, while others, like ice and snow, though common, require travel to the tundra. Additional higher tier liquids include tar, oil, and lava. Now, looking over this resource list, it's about what we should have come to expect, right? It's pretty much what we should have expected, seeing as more and more infos come out about Landmark, and it looks very Minecrafty. That cannot be denied. The good thing, though, is the variety here is pretty substantial right from the get-go. It's pretty substantial in terms of the number of resources, especially when you consider that these are the baseline resources. This is the baseline for what we will be using to create any number of things in Landmark, and by combining them and using them in the crafting system, it will give us lots more to work with. That's always good to think about. But let's get into the actual Dev Diary, shall we? Now, in this Dev Diary, we are joined by Darren McPherson, and he gets right into the info. He gets right to the point. I think this guy was pretty nervous when doing this, and it kind of shows, but he gets right into the info, and he starts off by explaining how items and item progression works, with the 5 tiers of resources, and then the 4 different gathering tools, which will include the pickaxe, the sickle, the axe, and the bucket. All of them doing pretty much what you would expect, with the pick for digging and mining, the sickle for farming and harvesting plants, the axe for forestry and cutting down trees for wood, and then the bucket for your liquids, be it water or maybe even something like lava. Now from here, he jumps into some crafting discussion, using the example of crafting a mahogany staircase, and how the players will have to start off with their very basic copper pick, which will kind of be like our level 1 item used to start us off in the world, and then from there, by harvesting other resources, we'll need to build an axe. But not any axe, we'll have to build a golden axe, or a higher quality in the tier system of axe, which is required to gather the wood of quality to make a mahogany staircase. We would have to kind of build up. You go from copper pick to iron pick, and then you're able to mine gold, and so forth. You're able to make a golden axe, and then you're able to go out and cut down the tree needed to produce mahogany, and then from there, mahogany staircase. Now this is all pretty exciting. It looks pretty good. I'd say though, what is really exciting about this video is that we get this little look into the game. I was gonna say in action, but it's not really in action at all. That would be pretty misleading. Instead, it's kind of this gallery of textures and resource types. Let's get into some discussion about that. I will probably roll some screenshots through, but I would highly suggest take a look at the actual Dev Diary video so you can get some proper visuals onto it. But some notes on it as we go through these. We see some stone. I very much like the stone and the wood portrayed in this little segment. Both resource types are shown with numerous variations and some really nice and fantastic textures. The marble, notably, is most interesting to me. Both the slab version and the tiled variation are pretty damn cool. Maybe I'm a sucker for like big marble, I don't know, countertops or flooring or something. It all looks pretty damn good in my opinion. Also, I want to mention the obsidian and the lava shown at the end. Those look pretty damn brilliant. I'm pretty convinced with both of those in mind that volcanoes in EverQuest Next and Landmark are going to look pretty phenomenal. And finally, we've seen some ice and stone that had some carvings in it. That was pretty neat, kind of reiterating how much kind of control the players have and what you can do with the resources and the tools, and you can really do whatever your mind kind of drives you to do, as it is. You can clear out big chunks in the resources and carve out your own little hovel if you wanted to. Now, finally, at the end of the dev diary, we are treated to a short run-through of this castle that Mr. Dave Georgeson created previously, and he actually put some pictures of this out on Twitter not too long ago. Now, I skipped over doing some coverage on the actual screenshots because I didn't think it was really video-worthy to just kind of pick those apart, but the actual video does show off some nice things, and it definitely shows that pictures don't always do video justice. In this little segment, we see lots of props, namely the tables and the curtains hanging above the windows that were created kind of by molding and removing sections of the wall away. We also get a nice look at the lighting. It's something I think gamers take for granted, but it's super important to how the environment is portrayed, so nice to see the lighting, especially because proper lighting and positioning of said lighting can drastically change the mood set by a space or by an environment, so really nice to see that. We also get a chance to see those mahogany stairs he was talking about previously. They don't really look all that amazing, and I'm just going to chalk it up to having to quickly throw together a video for a dev diary because they don't quite... it's not quite cohesive with the rest of the building, I'll say, but it's still nice to see that they were able to craft those actual stairs and put them in the building. Beneath the stairs, we also get a nice look at this kind of dark basement thing going on, and we see some fungi being cultivated. That's pretty interesting, as they kind of mentioned with a sickle, and now with the fungi thing, it looks to be like maybe farming is a pretty substantial part. You can do quite a lot with the farming aspects of the game. Now, by far the most interesting part is this cliffhanger ending of sorts. Not because it is an actual cliffhanger, but because of what it made me think about when I looked at this tunnel that they had given. This kind of very cylindrical and much more natural tunnel left from somebody or something digging in the earth. I suppose it's interesting to me because it's really hard for me to wrap my head around that this game, that Landmark and EverQuest Next, are this good looking, that the graphics are this good, and yet we can explore and just go nuts digging into the earth and getting into the unknown depths of the world below what is on the surface. And it's just astounding to me that the game just doesn't break, or that the weird chunks of the earth are not just scattered about, and it's just unlike Minecraft, right, where you can easily see where somebody's dug away. I'm very, very curious to see how they've handled the actual exploration and the digging and resource gathering part of this, and to see a tunnel that is so perfect. It just, it has my mind racing, wondering how does the character actually interact with the earth and the resources, and how does gathering, like, what does it do? If you hit the ground, does it just make a very tight square, very Minecraft style? Does it leave a very small crater? How does that work? I very much want to see how that works, especially after seeing this tunnel at the end of this little video. Luckily though, considering it is left at a cliffhanger very purposely, I expect the next sort of dev diary to jump right into this very topic. So I'm super excited to see what the actual digging and exploration and resource gathering looks like and what it feels like in the hands of an actual player while playing. But you know what, guys, I think that's going to do it for me on this kind of quick episode of Forging Fantasy EverQuest Next. Let me know in the comments below what you think of Landmark and how it's developing. If you haven't noticed, I'm properly excited and very, very looking forward to the potential of this title. In fact, I'd be willing to say at this point that Landmark has quickly jumped kind of to the top of my list for most anticipated game coming our way in the short near future. It really, really looks cool, and every time I hear more about the game I get more and more excited. So yeah, I think it's probably my most excited game for early 2014, maybe late 2013 release even. Thanks again for watching, guys, and if you enjoyed this video, maybe found it a little bit informative or thought-provoking, by all means hit that thumbs up and subscribe button down below. Thanks again, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.